Today is the day of the Nashville 48-Hour Film Festival. Join me on my journey. We get our genre pool in a few hours from now. We're preparing as much as we can beforehand. You know, we got the team assembled last month. We've been rallying equipment, and I've been kind of just loading into my car everything that we might be able to use for, you know, the thing, but we won't really know anything until we get our genre pool, so let's go to Nashville. Okay, we have arrived in Nashville. We got a couple hours until the event actually starts, where we'll do the drawings, so we're gonna get some food. And the food was glorious. My wife and I are vegan, so we go to a place in Nashville called the Sunflower Bakehouse, where everything is gluten-free and vegan. We have biscuits and gravy, little biscuit bake, apple pie cupcake, etc. And now our bellies are full and we're on the road, but we have more time to kill, so we go to Spirit Halloween, because the one in Nashville is open and the one where we live is not. We explore, and look at this incredible beast. Isn't he magnificent? So, wrapped up at Spirit Halloween, we head to the actual event space at a studio. Look at these cool guys up here, camera heads. And look at this crowd. There were 60 teams there. And they sent us on a scavenger hunt to find these rubber ducks. Well, my group was Group D, so we had rubber ducks, and there were different rubber animals everywhere. But these ducks, essentially, you see on the back, E6, 6E. Pretty 6y, huh? Sorry. Anyway, so I take these rubber ducks up to the announcer, and they pop up a grid with all the genres that we could get. One for the letter, one for the number. You draw two. You can choose one or the other.
Hey, are you there?
Yep, can you hear me?
Here, give me a second.
Yeah, take your time. Are you in your car too?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, are you also in your car?
Yeah, I am.
Cool, how close are you?
About 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool. So you'll get back well before I do. Yeah, so we got action/adventure, so either or, and we got sports/game. So we really have four things to choose from, if you think about it. So we ran through some ideas. We hopped in Zoom right afterwards, ran through some ideas, and we think we've settled on like a D&D game where we'll jump between reality and the fantasy world.
Hello. This is Bard and Druid.
Yes, Gary and Izzy. Yeah. Gary is one of our actors. Izzy's an actor as well as many other things. And this is our fits. Mm-hmm. Style.
I guess that's how a barber goes.
And now we start the writing process. And we're gonna hunker down until we finish. Isn't that right, director?
Yeah.
Okay, it is almost 2 o'clock in the morning, and we have the script and all of our costumes and locations sorted out. So, call time is 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna go home and get some sleep, and then we'll be entering really just still day one, because we started at 7 p.m. That's exciting. Okay, we're entering the next half of day one. Stay tuned. It is the second half of our first day, 8 minutes till 7 o'clock, which marks our official first 12 hours knocked out. Oh, thank you, big truck that just parked beside me to block the sun. No. We've got our locations down. I'm here at Kroger to get some water, because some of our shoot is outside today and it's supposed to be like 100 degrees. Water, sunscreen, and some last minute things, not last minute things, but some food based props we need. Yeah. And I got a mustache. Very cool. Greetings. We are in the woods, filming. Going off to battle.
No, we have 2 more.
It's 97 degrees. Real feel. Like 100 and something. Hi there. So, funny thing. A lot of the behind the scene footage that I was supposed to shoot during the forest didn't get shot because I got distracted too easily. And we were pressed for time. We were trying to shoot this thing in 48 hours. You know, we had 9 hours in the woods where it was incredibly hot. But more on that in a second. What I do have is footage from the camera, that most of which we didn't use in the final cut. So I'm going to overlay that under my voice. Over my voice? Under my voice. I'm going to put it with my voice so you can see a little bit about what that time on the trail was like while I talk about it. So first and foremost, it was very hot. We were under a heat advisory. The shading of the forest helped tremendously. But the temperature was 97-ish with a real feel of over 100 degrees, which, why do we have a real feel? If the real feel is 107 degrees, why not just say that's the temperature? I know it's humidity, and you know, it's not going to be the same everywhere, but if the real feel is 100 plus, then I think it's safe to assume that you can just put that as the temperature and not show me that it's one thing when it's not the other. Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about this a little bit. So we knew that the outside stuff was going to be the biggest portion of our short film, and we were going to travel back to the table occasionally with the players. But the biggest portion of our adventure was outside on the trails. So we picked the D&D format to jump back and forth between reality and this fantasy world, which was very fun. But going back, it was very hot, and we were all in very hot costumes. Incredible costumes, might I say. One of our art assistants, Katie, had these costumes for a thesis she worked on. Second to last semester, or last semester, at university. But regardless, she had a lot of really cool costumes, medieval costumes that we were able to use, which was very appreciated. But they were very hot. My chainmail, you know, I had the undershirt, right? The chainmail's like 15-ish pounds, and then I got my big axe, which was another like, I don't know, 7 to 10-ish. But the chainmail was hot. Now I had something under it, so I never felt it, but I went to go like rub my arm or something, and it was very spicy. But I didn't feel that, so it's okay. Izzy had like this brown fur pelt that she had to wear, which looked awesome for her druid character, but I imagine it was also very hot. Gary looked incredible, first and foremost, but his costume was pretty breezy. Thin shirt, had a little button, just a little vest. I'm not going to say Gary suffered less than us, but his outfit was the coolest, temperature-wise, and it looked really good on him. Hope you're watching this, Gary. Anyway, so we film all the outdoor stuff. We're filming from 7:30, Well, we meet at 7:30, we load everything into the car, and we drive about an hour and a half to location, which was a huge forest with a bunch of trails, a really cool cliff that we were able to get some really nice shots on. And yeah, very interesting stuff. So we rode out to that forest, put on all of our costumes, and then we were going non-stop from there. So from 9:30, I'll say, when we got the first shot at the cliff, we were in costume and going until we got our last shot at about 8 p.m., 7:30, 8 p.m. So we were outside in that space for 11 to 12 hours, 10 to 12 hours. We'll range that a little bit that way. 10 to 12 hours in costume. Very happy with what we got. We were supposed to have a cave, right? There was a cave that we were going to go to and film at like the mouth of the cave. We were going to film at the mouth of the cave. We were going down the trail. How you get there, incredibly muddy. Mud got like, you step in and it sinks in to a certain point. So we had to abort mission there, and we were thinking about it for like 30 minutes what we would do instead. And we settled on the final shot that we got the Devil's Lair. At the Devil's Lair, Grant does that much better than I do. Grant is the GOAT also. Grant played our DM and a bunch of NPCs within the fantasy world, and he is the GOAT. Grant the GOAT, GG. Incredible. But very muddy. So we had to figure out an alternative, which we did. And I like our last shot a lot. I think it worked really well for our last minute thing. But then we loaded up the cars again. We drove an hour and a half back to our town where we showered, got food, ate, and then all met back at Tyler's house again to film the final scene. Cleared out his office and then loaded in like his kitchen table and decorated it for the D&D scene, hanging swords on the wall, these beautiful banners, medieval banners that my wife made in like 5 hours for the project, for this 48-hour film. While we were writing and filming the outdoor stuff, she was here working hard, making those. Much appreciation to my lovely wife. And we had those banners in the background. They looked great. And then we had some D&D stuff we put everywhere, and we used like all of our lights, our big lights, our small lights, to try and light up the room, make it look nice. Because the room is white walled, which is never great for what you're trying to do, but we worked with it, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. But we filmed everything, finished at like 2 in the morning, started at like 11, got all of our interior stuff filmed, and then we did it. We wrapped production. And then we all went home, went to sleep, got up at like 8 or 9, got some pretty good sleep, better than the night before, 4 hours. 3 hours? 4 hours, something like that. Went back to Tyler's. Sav, our glorious, award-winning editor, cooked up in the shop of Premiere Pro and made us our first edit. They came to the apartment with the first edit, and it was already fantastic. And then Tyler, Zach, and I watched it. We gave notes in real time, and Sav edited those in real time, and the process was smooth, and it was amazing. And then we got a final cut, and then Sav exported and sent to Zach so he could color it in DaVinci Resolve. And then while Zach was coloring, Sav was sound designing, and when they both finished, Zach exported. Sav put his video overlays back over there, and then we had a finished product. And then we submitted at 7:08, and the deadline was 7:30, which is the nature, you know, sometimes their photo finishes. And we finished hard. And that was our experience. The 48-hour film festival was awesome. It was a lot of fun. We had a very small crew, right? We had our 2 art assistants who made the banner and provided costuming, which elevated the production of the film significantly. And then we had Tejan as our director of photography, Zach as our camera operator, Tyler as our director, and Sav as our editor, who was working hard on set. We would offload every scene, give it to them, so they could start cooking up in the lab. And then we had Grant, who I just talked about, was working boom when he wasn't on camera, and then he got in costume and be on camera for us, and he'd go back and forth between behind the camera and in front of the camera. And we had a really small team of really 3 actors and 5 behind the camera, one of which was in front of the camera a lot in reality. So really we had 4 actors, 4 behind the camera, one of which was editing the whole time. So 4 actors and 3 behind the camera, doing boom up, sound mixing, lighting the scene, shooting the scene, setting up shots, doing everything that you need groups of dozens to pull off. And we did it, and it turned out really well, and I'm really happy with the end product, and I know they're all happy with the end product, and I'm really excited to show you all the end product, but I can't do that until 9/11, unfortunately. Because the awards are on September 10th, the screenings are on September 2nd and 3rd at a place called Hooky Theaters, which just opened up in Nashville, and they're like a big movie theater, but they've also got like bowling alleys and an arcade and a bunch of stuff inside. It's like an all-in-one kind of place to go do things, which is really cool. I'm really excited to see that place. I've never been before. But the screenings are on September 2nd and 3rd, and then on September 10th at a place called Rock, which is a big warehouse where traveling productions go and they set up their set and they rehearse and then they pack up their set and they go do things. They have given the 48 Hour Film Project, Nashville 48 Hour Film Project, a big room for us to do the award ceremony, which is, so all 60 teams, I think is how many there were, all 60 teams will get to go, have a red carpet experience, screen their films, and then awards will be given out, and it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to watch everybody's films, and I can't wait for everybody to see our film, because I do think we cooked, and I know everybody else cooked too, and I'm excited for the buffet. But that is the video. I can't wait to show you guys what we made, and that will come in time. But until then, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.